Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you yet another episode of Obsidian for TTRPGs. I think that's what I called it, right? I think so. Yeah. So in our last episode, we talked about more linking, external links, images and external images, resizing, all that fun stuff, and then we ended with unordered lists. In this episode, we're going to talk about ordered lists. We might try some experimentation. I don't know why I never tried this before, but we're going to see if it works. And then we will also continue on with maybe the rest of the stuff we need for basically what we're doing right now. With the basics. I think that's everything I can think of that is basic Markdown for Obsidian. Then we're going to jump into using some of the really cool things of plugins. Although I did say we're going to do the front matter last, which there's a reason for that. You'll see why. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get doing our ordered lists. So let's do ORDERED, ordered lists. I should probably put an S here as well. That's 3 down. All right, so an ordered list, unlike an unordered list, which is simply bullets and it's saying these aren't necessarily in any specific order, they are just a list. With ordered lists, we actually want to have kind of a numeration of sorts, whether it's alphabetic or numbers or whatever. Now, I know for certain that numbers, doing one dot and so on and so forth, work. I think we're going to try like A dot. I'm not 100% sure, like A dot or uppercase I dot or something like that will work as well. There's part of me that thinks maybe it won't, or maybe, I don't know. It's up in the air. I do know that numerals, regular numbers, do work. And so with that, I'm sure you could figure out that if I do one dot space, it's going to actually do an ordered list. So we're going to say FIRS, first C item. So we'll do first item, and you'll notice it automatically says number 2. If I hit tab, it goes back to number 1 because this is a list of that list. Now here's where my question is, if we did say A dot space, that does not look like it works, or Roman numeral 1 dot space, no. It looks like it has to be numbers. If I'm inside here, 1 dot space, yeah, so that actually still is registering as that. So we'll just do a 3 deep one once again. So we'll do SECOND and then here, I wonder if shift tab works. Ooh, it did. Beautiful. And then do THIRDITEM. And maybe what I should do, just so, actually I guess this is 4th now, THIRDITEM, and we'll make this one 4th. So FOURTH. So as you can see, it looks like using anything other than numbers doesn't work. And that's kind of interesting. It actually just did it 1, 2, 3, and 4. I wonder if it's because I did something. Is this not indented far enough? Tab. No, it seemed to work right there. Let's try that again. I gotta see in my notes if that actually does that right. I've never actually really noticed. I went 3 deep in my notes. It actually worked right there. I wonder why it didn't here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to hit enter and then tab. And we'll say SECOND, second item. We'll hit third item, THIRD, third, ITM, and shift tab, go back out and say F-O-U-R-T-H, fourth item. This is really weird because in my testing one, I'm going to show you real quick, you can actually see that, actually, is this in preview mode? Now it's in preview mode. You'll see it actually, oh no, what that did work, see? Is it because, is there 2 tabs there? I don't know. Oh, that was the wrong thing. I moved the web page that's behind it. Now I moved the total wrong one. Okay, I'm doing really bad all of a sudden. I want that one. Jeez. Thank you. All right, so I don't think we need this anyway, so we're good. Okay, so let's try that, because maybe it's the 2 isn't enough or something. Let's tab it once more and tab that once more. Maybe the first tab wasn't enough to register, because it does look like in my other one that I might have tabbed it more. All right, well, if you were looking, you probably saw what our next item is as well. So I need to get rid of you. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is checkboxes. Very handy thing. You know, if you have a list, you have a quest and quest items and stuff like that, you know, you might want to have checkboxes to check off as you do them. And the way you do this is kind of like an unordered list, but kind of special. So we're going to say, I'm going to misspell it, of course, C-H-E-C, check, B-O, boxes, and I'm going to say any value can be used to check the box. So let's go ahead and do that. So the way we do checkboxes is similar to our unordered list with the dash. So we do a minus, space, and then our brackets, and a space in there. And then once we actually hit space after that, you'll see it kind of expands and it turns gray. So any value we stick in here makes it be a check. So the standard, of course, is an X. And we could say this will be checked. And then once again, we can actually tab in. I'm going to do 2 just in case. Technically, it looks like I'm even tabbed in more on my other one. It looks like I'm actually tabbed maybe even 2 more. I'm not sure. We'll find out. And then this will not, will not be. So if we go look at this, I did it. You'll see that, I'm not sure why that's got a line through it though. Maybe it is because it's registering as, is it because I didn't do that? Let's try that. See, I think if we uncheck this, it will uncheck both of them. So it's looking at it as if it's all one line. So I'm going to try this real quick. I'm going to hit enter, do that. Let's see if that registers. So that registers as 2 unchecked. And you'll see if I check it in the thing, it will actually put an X in there. So didn't we set our tabs to be 2? Where is that value? I think it's in editor. Tab indent is 2, and indent using tabs is off, so it should be spaces, which I believe is what I have in here. So let me just double check this real quick. Yeah, tab indents off, indent size 2. So if I hit tab here, that should be its own thing. but it's not registering that way. Hit tab again, still not. Hit tab again, and now it turns into just text. That's still not. Tab again. I don't know why it's being goofy like that. So if I hit tab, I do shift tab. Oops, I'm not on it. What's that one do? That's still registering as if it's part of that line. So let's try one more, shift tab. That registers that it's not. I'll have to look into that. I am actually running kind of a beta version, but it's showing up in my other one, which is the same version. So yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to look into why that is acting that way. The other thing I was just thinking I wanted to check is, can we actually do like the plus and stuff? It looks like we might. So I wonder, what if we did the plus as the indented one? Nope, still don't work. Alright, I'm not going to mess around with that anymore. So maybe anything you do the unordered list with will work. I've always just used the little dash. But I wanted to also show you a third one here. We'll write this will also be CHECKED. And inside here, you know, let's just stick, let's put a B in there or something. So here you'll see that it also is checked. Now if I uncheck this and recheck it, it'll actually turn into an X. So it's just looking for any value in there, and that counts as checked. But if you actually check it in your note, it will turn into an X, which really shouldn't matter. All right, well, now that we've wasted quite a bit of time on that, let's go ahead a couple more, and let's say you want to have a nice horizontal line across your, you know, a separator. So in HTML, you would use the HR tag, but in this, you actually have three options. They're all identical, at least in most of the themes that I've seen. Maybe other themes won't, but let's just call this horizontal line, or I think they're also called horizontal rule. I think that's what HR stands for. Maybe we'll just do HORIZONT, horizontal rule. Rule? Yeah, horizontal rule. And basically it is done doing a certain characters 3 times. So one of them is going to be 3 stars, and you'll notice it kind of changed to that grayish color saying, hey, this is special. We also have 3 dashes. So 3 dashes or tildes? I can't see. So 3 dashes, which is almost like if we are doing our front matter. And the third one is with 3 underscores. And if we do that and show you, you'll see it actually draws 3 lines to kind of separate things on the page. And now we are down to our final 2. So another nice thing to have in any type of document would be footnotes, right? So throughout your document, we're just going to put them all down here at the bottom, but these could be anywhere in your document. FOOTNOTES, kind of like our success thing was. So I'm going to say footnotes, and have I been putting... I don't think I have. I'm just wondering how I've been doing all these. It looks like I've just been doing a sentence or words or whatever. All right, so footnotes, the way you do that is similar to how we actually did that access an area of the sheet, right? However, it's also kind of like doing an external link at the same time. So we're going to say this is a footnote. And I guess I'm going to put it at the end of the footnote. So what we do is we do our bracket, and it'll automatically do open and close, and then we do our caret symbol and, you know, number 1 for our first note, right? So this is our first footnote. Now if we do that, you'll see it just says 1 because it doesn't actually link to anything yet. We haven't given it anything to link to, so it's just saying, oh, well, I don't know where to go, so I'm just going to render it as a number 1. So we're going to also do, this is ANO, oh, I was doing it right. Another footnote. And we're going to do a bracket, caret 2. And once again, you see it kind of turn gray. However, because there's nothing to link it to, it just gives us the 2. It doesn't know how to handle it yet. And then what I wanted to show is that you can also create a footnote with a name, but when it renders it, it turns it into a non-name. It'll actually set it as it'll automatically set it to a number. So in this case, we're going to say this is a named footnote, and we're going to do our bracket, and we're going to do our caret, and then just like we did with success, we can actually do it here and say, I'm just going to note, right? Now that I have those, I need somewhere at the bottom of the document or somewhere in the document, it will automatically move these to the very bottom of the document, just like it does in footnotes of books and stuff. So the way we do it is we actually start with the exact same thing, with one difference. So we will say our bracket here, we'll do caret 1 for our first footnote, and then we do a colon, which is how it knows that this is the actual place the footnote. This is the reference text, basically. So this is the referenced reference text. And if we do that now, you'll see footnote actually turns to a 1, and if I click it, it goes down to this is the reference text, and if I hit the return, it goes back to where we started. So it's really nice that it does that. Let's go ahead and hit enter. So the other thing I forgot to mention, but it automatically did it, is technically you want 2 spaces at the beginning of the line. So we go 1, 2, although it looks like it only did 1. I'm going to try without it. I want to see if it automatically does it. But that's in my notes saying add 2 spaces at the start of each new line. This lets you write footnotes. Oh, I know what I'm saying actually. So we're going to hit enter. We don't need to do it here. What we want to do is do our bracket, do caret 2, and then our colon. And now we can say add, oops, did I hit caps lock? I don't want caps lock. Add 2 SPACES spaces. How did I write that? At the STAR start of EA each new related maybe line. So this is how it will know that this is part of the footnote above. So I'm going to hit space twice, and you'll see it's underneath the thing. And then I said this lets you WRIT write footnotes, notes that SPAN MULTIPLELINES, like so. And then if we enter there, if we do our third one, let's do our note one now. Whoops, I did the wrong kind. So we're going to do caret note and then a colon here. And you'll see once again it does that. I can't tell. It looks like it actually is spaced in, but I'm curious if it will automatically basically move that back the 1. And then say here NAME named FOOTNOTES footnotes. Footnotes will be converted. CONVERT converted to a number. A-U-T-O-M-A-T-I-C-A-L-Y, automatically. So if we go ahead and go in now, you'll see that footnote 3 actually got turned into, or footnote note actually automatically got turned into a 3. So kind of nice that it does that for you, and it gets rid of the actual note. This kind of follows more of how you would expect it to be in footnotes. Now, one thing I want to point out is we're going to actually add our very last thing that we're going to do right here, and this is tables. Now, there are mods that make this lots easier. We're just going to make a simple table with some very basic justification as far as alignment goes. But you can actually have some really ugly ones and really confusing code to make them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a little table with actual characters in a campaign I'm in. I think we're actually all like level 16, or I'm just going to do 10, and then actually what our class is. So the way you do a table is you start with our pipe, and then I'm just going to give the table header. So this will be C-H-A-R-A-C-T, character name, like so. And then I'm going to, basically I'm drawing the table out here, C-U-R-E-N, current, L-E-V-E-L, and our last field right here will be their class. And then I'm going to also have a close one. So you could imagine that this is actually, you know, the cells of a table. Now if I hit enter, right now it's thinking this is just a sentence with pipes in it. And you'll actually see it actually put it above all the footnotes. It automatically moves the footnotes with the horizontal rule at the very bottom of your note, no matter where your actual footnotes are, which is nice if you ask me. So the way we let this know that this is a table that we're trying to do stuff with is we then will go in and put at least 2 dashes, I think it is, to represent how many cells we want. It might be more than 2, but could be 3. I'm not sure. Let's see if this does anything. So if I do this, followed by do this, and then follow up by that, I believe that I might even need just one representation of the actual table underneath. So once we have that, now we can go and add in the same type of format. And if this doesn't work, I'll show you why. I was just trying to avoid the alignment part of it. It might be three of these have to be here, or maybe 4. I'm not sure. All right, let's try 4 real quick. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to do the 2 for right now, because I want to see if that actually is the, I think that was the minimum I read about. So we actually have 3 cells. This is going to say that it's a table, but then we want to actually do our table itself. So our first person will be Brick, who is my rogue. So I'm going to do Brick, and he is a level, I think we're like level 13 or something. And he is a rogue, R-O-G-U-E. Now let's see if that does anything. Still no. I don't think I need a mod for this. All right, well, let's get into then. It might be because I need the formatting. So basically the way you tell it the justification of how you want this table is to use a colon. So let's say I want it to be center justified. So I want Brick to be in the middle. It's going to look at the cell with the largest thing, and that's how big your thing is going to be. So other than the class, you know, one of our people is a barbarian, so that will be what it sets it by. So let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to set this one to center justified, which would be that. If I want left justified, or is this right justified? This is right justified. and this would be left justified. So center justified has colons on both sides. If I want it right justified, I put it on the right side. If I want it left justified, I want it on the left side. And it's still not doing it. I don't think, do I have I might have to have, let me just double check if I have the table in my, I do have advanced tables. I know tables in general are a pain in the butt. Maybe this is what makes them not a pain in the butt. Let's just try this real quick. So we're gonna go get our first plugin. So we're gonna go ahead and browse, and we're gonna get one called Advanced Tables. ADVANCED. So Advanced Tables right here by Tony Grossinger. And we're gonna say install, and we're gonna go ahead and also say enable. And what this does is actually gives you a nice little tool for creating tables. Let's see if that worked. No. So it created this little button here, and you'll see what it does is gives us this. I'm kind of curious why it's not considering this. Is it 2 spaces or something? 1. No. Okay, I'm going to cut and paste exactly what I have in my notes. And you'll see it's pretty much, other than it's brick, and I put some more spaces just to make it look nice. Oops, Control Z, Control C, and I'm going to paste it right here, V. So as you can see, this is pretty much exactly what we were doing. We have a center justified, a right justified, and left justified. And that works. Now, maybe it's a core plugin that we don't have enabled? I am not sure why that's going on. Alright, well, let's do this then. Why is it not rendering? We're at 27. We're almost at 30 minutes, and this is the last thing we need before we start using a plugin. I could swear this is pretty much it. I don't think it's not 2 space. No, because I just copied from this one and pasted in this one, so that's everything. So why? If I went here, I don't know if this will do anything. Let's say we want it to be right aligned. So it did it with a lot of dashes. Maybe it has to be more dashes. Let's try that. No, that didn't work. Here you can see it actually, this one's still centered, this one's right, and this one's right now. It almost looks like it did change all this to be right aligned. I am really confused. You know what? Actually, let's try doing this. Sometimes if you exit out and go back into the sheet, watch, it'll... No, it's still not. I'm gonna have to research that one out, and in the next video, I'll have to see if I can figure out what it was. I don't think there's anything in this that's tables, is there? This is advanced tables. I think that just is what this clicked. So if we're back in hashtags, we click that, yeah, it just goes to advanced tables. All right, I'm going to definitely look into this and see if I can figure out what's going on and why it's not doing it. I know that it says you can put a bunch of these to represent the horizontal line in there, and then the colon will say whether this is center justified, this one right here, well, right now they're both right justified, but maybe this is why people say tables are a pain in the butt. I never had very much trouble with it until right now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode because we're at 30 minutes. And I will look into this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Oh, actually, I might know. It needs to have a carriage return there. Look at that. I just remembered I ran into this same issue. So I don't think it needs this. I think that's just how tables need to have an empty space above them. I'm going to go ahead and, well, for now, we're going to reinstall it because it makes it nice. But I just want to disable advanced tables so it's not there anymore. And then I want to copy and paste. I remember now I did run into this issue. Control C and see if it's like that. It will not render. But we do have to have that carriage return, and now you'll see it actually renders, and even with just the few lines. And you'll see it actually creates us a nice little table with this being centered, this being right justified. Is that how I said it? Yeah, right justified and left justified. Oh, so glad I figured it out before it was over. I remember having the same issue. I should definitely put that in the notes here. Saying make sure there is oh, that's an ugly make. Make sure there is, I'm going to say, an empty line before the table. Is an empty line BEFOR for the table. There we go. So, yep, you do not need any fancy stuff for doing that. When I heard that it was super hard, this actually makes sense to me, and as long as it's not a real complex table, you can even take these things and line them up so that it looks nice, and it will be completely happy. It's not going to care. It might automatically format it when you hit the button, but if we do this, to me, this is not that complex to actually kind of just make it so it's drawn out. But I want to see really quick. Yeah, it's keeping it. So this is how I would technically actually do a table. I would space it out so that it looks decent. And that way, if I need to make changes, I would have to go and, add and remove spaces to make it look right. But to me, it's not that complex. Other than you have to make sure you have an empty line before it. But as you can see, there you go. Beautiful. And you don't actually have to line these up. Just having these guys is enough to say, line these up. And another thing to actually note is that the left justify is the default. So if we actually did that, you'll see it's already left justified. This is just to visually remind you that, yes, I'm leaving it left justified. You don't need it. All right, so that is it. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered that at the very last minute. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Tell other people about my channel. Word of mouth is definitely going to be the best way to grow a channel that's not big. And that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.